Henk, welcome to Capacity TV. Why is Africa an important market for AMS-IX to go into?
Africa is an important market because the whole interconnection landscape is still starting up. So there's still a lot to do. You can participate from the beginning. Let me go back a little bit. There's essentially two things important to us here. One, AMS-IX itself in Amsterdam is a very international oriented internet exchange, much more so than the others. Around 30% of our members comes from the Netherlands, but 70% comes from all over the world. And Africa is essentially a missing continent there. So we're interested to get African operators to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, to exchange traffic there with other European, Asian, American operators. On the other hand, it's very inefficient for African operators, for example, to exchange traffic among themselves in Amsterdam. It's just inefficient and expensive. So it's better to keep that inter-African traffic in Africa. There's a lot of initiatives going on with local internet exchanges in Africa. Almost every country now has an internet exchange established, for example, Kenya or Nigeria. And most of them are still very small. What's missing is internet exchanges with a more regional reach where parties from different countries interconnect. Although Kenya is doing on that already a little bit. AMS-IX can fill up a gap there by putting an exchange in, for example, Mombasa, as we plan to do. Working together with partners to get parties from different countries to that exchange, and having our network in international operators and content providers, trying to get them together in Mombasa might be a way to keep traffic and bring traffic into Africa and make the internet more efficient.
That's interesting. Have you found carriers and governments and regulators quite responsive to your initiatives in the region?
Carriers are responsive. For governments and regulators, that's a difficult thing for an outsider to work with. But for that reason, we work very close together with the Kenya Internet Exchange, who has all these government and regulators connections. I believe that specifically in Africa we need to work together with a local party like KIXP or TESPOC, how they're called, to take that role and help us in there.
Do you think interconnection agreements and exchanges will drive down the high prices that exist on capacity in Africa?
Definitely. So for one, it will help content to flow from Europe and the US into Africa. So there's a lesser need for African operators to get it from far and pay high prices. Mm-hmm. That in itself will drive down prices. Second, because the whole amount of data being exchanged and being transported will grow, that will also drive down prices. It's essentially what we have seen in Europe and the US. Everywhere where there's a good organized, large regional internet exchange, prices go down very quickly. Yeah. I heard someone say today that in London it's like $5 per megabit, while in Amsterdam we know it's like down to 50 cents per megabit.
Aside from your partnership with CCOM, which you announced at Capacity Africa 2012, do you have any planned partnerships in the region in the near future? We
started a similar project in Hong Kong, which is not really an emerging market, but certainly in the internet domain, a very well-developed market. That's taking off very successful. We're now doing this second initiative here in Mombasa. We already had for a couple of years a similar initiative, though a little bit different, in one of the Dutch Antille Islands, Curaçao. That's becoming very successful too. So yeah, I think this model can be exported to many other places. But it will take a little bit more time before we go there. I mean, we are a very small company. AMS-IX is a company of 32 FTE. We can only handle so much work. So we're considering other initiatives.
Henk, thanks for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.